"She waited for you," the priest told me. I believe she did. It had been a long trip to get there, and my grandmother Mitsu had been on a much longer journey in this world. She was 111, though the priest pronounced her 113 by the Buddhist way of counting age. Her old body had finally broken down, and I couldn't just let her go, so I went to Japan. With a heavy feeling that this was my last time to see her, I made the long trip across the ocean. When I finally arrived in her room and saw her tiny body, my heart sank, as she appeared to be unconscious. I stared at her for a while, thinking that I'd come for nothing. But when I spoke to her, "Grandma," she opened her eyes and looked into mine. "It's me," I said. "Stephen." She recognized me, and her eyes closed. We did this a few more times before she appeared to fall into a deep sleep. Wanting to get away for a moment from the enormity of the situation, I went outside into the falling darkness, wandering through neighborhoods filled with sights, sounds, and scents of home, fish grilling, television news blaring, students bicycling home. When I returned, her condition had markedly changed. The nurse said that she was rejecting food and even water. The doctor was called, and after examining her, told me that she was nearing the mountaintop. An unfamiliar expression, but one I instantly understood. He left the room, and I waited alone by her side. The only sound was the rhythm of her harsh breathing. After a few hours, I grew weary and fell asleep. A short while later, I awoke to a strange silence. I knew that it was over. Her long time in this world had ended. As I gazed at the lifeless body, I sensed that she was no longer there. The funeral ended with family members placing flowers on grandmother's body, especially around her face, before the coffin was closed. We then moved to the crematorium. There we watched as the body was rolled into the oven and the switch turned on. None of this was horrifying. I sensed no life in the body, no grandmother. Whatever form she was in now, it clearly was not attached to that body. My mother couldn't make the trip to Japan, so as the only grandson, I was the designated person in charge of the ceremonies. Many people came up to me and reminded me what a big heart grandmother had. I saw how she had always been so attentive and aware of the needs of others, so compassionate in giving, and so responsible in serving the interests of the family and community. When I was leaving for the airport, the priest told me once again, "She waited for you. It's good you came." It gave her peace, and she was able to let go. It's still a mystery that she waited for me. Maybe grandmother wanted to give me the final message that everything was all right. She was okay. I would be okay. We were connected so deeply. When I was a lost young man in my 20s, I felt called to be by her side and lived with her in the Japanese countryside as I regained my strength to go on. Grandmother cared for me and taught me many things about life. I absorbed some of her tremendous life energy. She taught me about the beauty of a way of being in which I needed to accept who I was, be grateful for it, and responsibly do what I could with what I had. My life was transformed in what my odd father called a metamorphosis. Grandmother's passing birthed a renewed sense of being called back home, to connect with my heritage, to remember who I am. Reflecting on her life, I remember how much grandmother lived with her heart. At the funeral, so many people spoke of her with the word kokoro, expressing a broad sense of wholeness with heart, mind, and spirit. Her being expressed mindfulness, compassion, and responsibility, and the closest word in English that describes her is heartfulness.